Alright, back to Blender. It's the 4th day of the February. I've been kind of just looking around and talking to people. I was talking to Quantum. He showed him what I thought of Blender issues to Mesh. He says no. What I thought was not actually right, and you still can't do it. Prefer to BDF Vista. He does it. So apparently that was wrong. It's good to know. But I don't know how to explain it then. But he did say that there is nothing wrong with what I am doing, so obviously I just haven't did enough. If it looks wrong and there's nothing wrong with it, so I just need to do more. I still can't find any proper like tutorials on how to texture paint and stuff like for like colorboard and stuff like that. I kind of know what to do, but I just there's nothing to show me how to do it properly. So I'm just have to probably gonna have to wing it. But I think I'm just gonna continue with the red art texture one for now. Because I want to finish like all of them because I've still got. I was started the roughness one, didn't finish it, and I've got a mission paint. Not too sure about that one. Pink gradients. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be like super important. It's actually gonna probably be for like the shadows what I want. Stencil brushing, which is something where I did with the eye basically. But yeah, I want to continue with it. So where are we? Where was I? Where am I? Uh, main monitor. Oh yeah, just I was trying to see if there's a way for me to like select the area, the mesh, and then go to texture paint and then just that to show up. So if I go here like that, would I go to texture paint? But no, it shows up the whole thing. 'Cause I was watching another time skip video where they were doing that. They were like selecting an area and then going to texture paint, and it was just being the selected area showing up. It was for they were basically what was it? They were basically going to like creases on on clothes that they were. Just selecting the crease area and then going to texture paint and then just like doing the. Oh my God, but yeah, just doing the black for the crease, and then that because it was only the area that they selected showed up, then they could then select the whole thing, and then it would follow the edge perfectly. It was kind of like they did an art line that way, but yeah, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But I'm gonna let the video up now. I'm probably going to want it to just be this weird. Yeah, so with the hands too. If this says my hands are, if I go here, there's 16 edges. They're supposed to be 12 edges. I started with an 8 point one. You're supposed to start with a 6.1. It was again. I was looking at 2M's videos and hands and the feet. They were to the Wuwa and ZZC models only 12. So mine's got more than even them models, which is fine, I guess. But I would like to optimize it more because I'm gonna have to do it in the eventually, right? You know, make the model as best as it can, and it's got to start from copying the professionals. Yeah, and I realized too that the hand's supposed to be like a curve of the fingers, which it is here. So go up like around like that. Mine is kind of straight still. That is wrong, but apparently the bit I added here with the thumb part, apparently that's fine because like the one he showed is like it's coming way out there, so it's not 100% done, but I was like figuring out part of it for myself actually, which is makes me happy. Except not totally dumbass. But yeah, I gotta continue from there. This rope here, it's just, I want to do more with it. It just doesn't look good again. It's that UV raft that want to add like creases and stuff to it. Don't know really how to approach that, so you know, these boots. Does this even need to be there? This one. I would say no. And these parts here, stop it. I would probably say these parts here, well, could honestly. Let's go. I don't know why I'm trying to keep the topology there like that. But they could honestly just go like that. I mean, I really could just go da 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 da. Me and my fucking perfectionist crowd. A lot of part of me is always like, we can always just delete this, to solve it. Just, no, not that one. Stop it. You always just do that to solve it. Just it's still quad. But I'm starting to slowly come around to it. Is there a way for like deleting vertices to be also be mirrored? I can always just delete it and then respect delete. I'll just still. I'll quickly. Why does this one seem to have like even more topology than the other ones? It's small, but it says I'll do it myself. So do that. I really shouldn't be doing this after doing the texture painting, but I know Blender now, because the object data of the surrounding places around it is there, adding these in. If I was to go to UV editing and get off that and go down here and yeah, so you see it here. Go to edit mode. Go to feasibility, X-ray. So you can see there will be around here that if I grab this, and do it, you can see it being added. But it says that's because the vertices here, and here are, and this one here are all already, are well, are already there. So it knows where the object that is. We'll put it in. So I don't need to re-UV wrap it. Something I learned quite a bit there a long time ago. So if I was to ever like wanted to add topology but didn't want to re-up it, I would extend it or extrude. Well, no, you would pull it out, not extrude, because extrude would be creating new object data points. You would just grab it, pull it out, and then add a loop cuts, put it in, and then that would mean the surrounding data's already got the object data, and it would actually fill it in for you. Or you could just Maybe for you and rough it. But I'm losing. I know it's just if something as simple as this, doesn't really need to be done. Kind of. Kind of do like that actually with a topology at the bottom though, so I'm gonna leave that part there. This part here, like what the hell is this ring doing there? Solve it all. Doesn't need to be there. Doesn't need to be there. Do that. Okay. Let's click this again and go up here. Go with the mirror. Yeah, ring still there. It's the inside. It curves with the inside. Yep. Anyway, that ran out. Let's do the roughness tutorial. Let's get something. Get something. Make sure I've got it up this time. I stop doing that fucking crap.
I will show you how to texture paint roughness maps. Now, if you'd like to learn the basics of texture painting in Blender, then I'll have a link in the description to my texture painting for beginners tutorial. And I'll also have a link in the description to my
roughness map is
texture
the one I
painting
definitely want to
tutorial
follow
playlist
along
where you
with
can
because I
learn more
want to do
about
the
texture
roughness map
painting,
for
like
the
how to
lips,
texture paint images with the stencil brush, and how to texture paint gradients and other texture painting tutorials. So for demonstration in this video, I'm going to be using this cube here, and I just added a bevel to this cube, and I'm going to add a material to this cube so that it looks like a metal cube, and then we'll be texture painting the roughness. So the first step to texture painting is to add a material to the object. So I'm going to click right over here on the shading tab, and in the shading workspace I'm going to click on new here to add a new material. And I am going to make this a metallic material, and I'm also going to make the base color here a bit darker. And also in the 3D space here, I'm going to hold down the Z button and go into the material preview. Now the next thing that we need to do is create an image to actually texture paint on. So I'm going to press Shift A. Let's go here to the search, and I'm going to search for an image texture, and let's drop this down here. And then we want the color.
So hold on. So add a new material. Face dot roughness. Okay. That's a minimize percent. Yeah, it's kind of. I click here to duplicate it, and then I'll change it. But I'll change the active material. Like no, I want to make a new material. Don't change the one I'm doing. Fuck that. I have to like reapply it. It's fine for there, but you know it was kind of just weird. God damn it. Back to shit in here. Get this in here. So there's principal down. Okay, so that's back to where I am. Back to put it on. Let's go.
We're here to be going into the roughness because this image texture is going to control the roughness of the.
Obviously. What the fuck? I can. It's for some reason deleted the face text. Fucking head texture, the face roughness, even though I copied the boots texture and deleted that and replaced that, and then I went up to here and then it's replaced the head. It's a completely different one. Why did it do that? Why did it? I don't know what the hell's going on. So if I was to click this again, head texture. Okay, so what I want to do is just add. I'll change out the face texture. But it's gonna have to. I'm not gonna have this roughness on the face texture amount. Where am I going? Where am I going crazy?
And then let's click on new here to create a new image. Now on the name here, you can just rename this. So I'm just going to rename it to Cube Roughness. And then I am going to be using a 4K texture. That is pretty standard for textures. So I'm going to click right here on the width, drag down, and then let go. And this way I can change both values at the same time. And I'm going to punch in 4096 and then hit enter. That is the standard resolution for a 4K texture. Now on the color here, I actually want to change this to a mid-gray color. So if I click right here on RGB, I'm going to click and then drag down and then let go. And I'm going to change this to 0.5.
I am pretty sure, actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be. Damn it! What's going on? Okay, I wasn't working for some reason. But I'm pretty sure I do remove this face texture. And I do this, and I go an image texture, search image texture here, and it goes into the roughness. What did that do? Oh. Yeah, okay, so it's shiny now, but that's because there's no texture. It's probably just gonna ring at max. We'll put that in there for now.
This way it's going to be white, and then right here it's going to be perfectly in the middle from white to black. And this way when we're painting, we can paint darker values, and that's going to make it more shiny, and then we can paint white values and it's going to make it more rough. So the default will be right in the middle, the default gray. And default will be, and then when we're painting, we can paint dark, and I'm going to change this to 0.5. This way it's going to be white, and then right here it's going to be perfectly in the middle from white to black. And this way when we're painting, we can paint darker values and that's going to make it more shiny, and then we can paint white values and it's going to make it more rough. So the default will be right in the middle, the default gray. And then I can click on OK. Now something that's really important is we need to take the color space here and we need to change it to non-color. And this is because this texture is just the roughness. So
okay, so he's probably doing that. I just can't remember what was the texture. What was this one? I don't know if it was a 8K or 4K.
It's not actually contributing to the base color, it's just going into the roughness. So you need to set the color space here to non-color. Alright, and then the last really important thing before you start texture painting is to UV unwrap the object. Right over here, if you go to the UV editing tab, this cube has already been UV unwrapped, but if you'd like to learn the basics of UV unwrapping in Blender, then you can check out my UV unwrapping for beginners tutorial. So just make sure you have a decent UV unwrap for texture painting. So I'm now going to click right over here to go to the texture painting workspace, and it has taken us into the texture painting mode on this object. And then I don't want to texture paint on the image editor, so I'm going to drag this down and make it smaller. And for texture painting, I'm going to be using my Wacom Pad tablet, and I will have some Amazon affiliate links in the description to some different tablets that I recommend. And those are affiliate links, so if you purchase something through those links, that'll help me out, but with no extra cost to you. Alright, and then to actually preview the roughness in real time as we paint it, I'm going to hold down the Z button and go into the material preview. And then if you want to change kind of how the lighting is, you can go right over here, click on this drop down arrow, and you could like change the strength, you could also change the rotation, and you could also do this in the rendered view, but I'm going to be doing this in the material preview. So what I'm going to do is click here on the color, and I'm going to set this to fully white.
Stop for a second. Stop for a second. Right, so. In here. This is just. Nice. Here.
And then I could also turn the strength down to maybe just a bit smaller. So now I can go in here and I can start to paint, and you can see that as we make it brighter, it's going to be more rough. So if I just open this up here, just to show you, if I open this up, you can
what am I in? I'm in this one. Okay, so if I was to do this now, if it's cross, am I going to make it a bit bigger? Okay, yeah, I haven't had the video up anyway. But you do it here, and so I'm on the blur. Right in the center, okay.
see we are.
So what you said white was roughness. And then dark was wetness. Okay.
Painting white, and so the more white it is, the more rough it's going to be. However, if I click on the color here and make it fully black, I can now just start to add black, and you can see as I make it black, it's going to be more shiny. So it almost looks like we're polishing the metal, because you can see right there, it is much more shiny now. So this is pretty cool, but I also want to show you how you can texture paint with a noise texture to give it a cool, noisy metal look. Right over here, I'm in the active tool and workspace settings. So I'm gonna go right down here and I'm gonna open up this texture tab right here. Then I can click on new to add a new texture. Now right now it's just a black texture, so I'm gonna click on this button right here, and this is going to take me over to the texturing panel. Now right here on the type, we have image or movie. So if you wanted to, you could click on open and you could open a texture and then actually paint with that for the roughness. I'm gonna click on this type here, and we have some different procedural textures in Blender. I'm going to be using the procedural clouds, and this is just basically a procedural noise texture. And then I could also take the depth here and I could turn this way up, and if I turn the depth up, it's going to be much more detailed. And on the noise basis right here, there are some other settings you could play around with. I'll just leave this at the default. So now that I've set that up, I'm going to click right back up here to the active tool and workspace settings. And then if I click and drag right down here, we have some mapping, and on the mapping here, to make this more random, I'm just going to change this to random. So then before I start painting with this, I'm going to turn this up so it is much more white. So I'm going to make this pretty white. So now if I start to paint here, you can see it's actually painting with that procedural noise texture, and so it's just creating random noise all around, and that actually gives a really cool effect. It looks like a very rough metal material. But if I make this more of a darker color, just kind of like a dark gray, now if I start to paint here, you can see it's adding that noise and it's making it more reflective. And you can see that looks like a much more realistic metal because it has all that noise there. So then once you're finished with the texture painting, it's really important to save the image, because if you don't save the image to a file on your computer, then Blender's not going to save the image data. So you can click here on image and then click on save as. And I'm just going to save this as a PNG image in a folder with my files as cube roughness, and then I'm going to click on save as. Alright, so we have now saved this to an image on our computer, so if we close Blender won't lose the data. So I can now just click right back over here on the shading tab, and we now have this cube roughness. So that is it. That is how you texture paint roughness maps in Blender. And if you'd like to watch more of my texture painting Blender tutorials, then you can check out my texture baking tutorial playlist with the link in the description. And if you'd like to learn the basic
load, goddammit, load.
In this Blender
Do that to get, and then I'm going to move monitoring down. So okay, so we'll do this. Obviously, I'm not gonna want it to be that crazy. Just a wee bit, just a wee bit, just a wee bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even that's a wee bit too much. What the fuck? For some reason, the color picker's not working there. So. Yeah, that's enough. So just zooming in here. I just want to get the line going. So. Doesn't need to be like super accurate, I guess, but. I just did actually no, I should just really go. That's a bit too much. Honestly, yeah, honestly, I should be doing this bit here as well around it. Or should I? Question myself now. Something like that. Yeah, so I would need to see if now base roughness. Head texture. This is better. I didn't really take advantage of the blur, did I? You really can't actually see that, can you? Da, 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 da. This fucking shit. Why can I not? Okay. Why does everything out there look like crap? also know. Where's the stroke? Stabilize. What's a stabilized stroke? It looks okay. It looked bad, really bad. But then the more I've added to it, the more it's like, oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad, is it? Pop it a wee bit more. I think it should be actually a wee bit thicker, maybe. The more I'm going there, like, oh yeah, a bit more, wee bit more, wee bit more, wee bit more, wee bit more. You know, wee bit more, wee bit more. It's just like when you stop, huh? So back to face texture. Okay. Face roughness. Okay, this is the part here that I didn't really do real. Throw down a blurless. Now you can see the blur actually really doing work. Sometimes I use it, I just don't see it actually doing anything. And then here it's just like, hello, how you doing? It's like I've suddenly decided to go to work today and actually wanted to do my work today. What the fuck? Do it every day, god damn it. Be this noticeable. Every day. Where's the smudge? Give me a one. So I got get down there, get down there, get down there. Come on, come on. Yes, and do it again. Yes, do that. Smudge. I love the smudge tool as well. Smudge is so good. I'm actually fine with the like uneven parts because you know it's not always going to be perfect symmetry. Which I do try and do as much as I can. What the hell is that? Come on. Yeah. Okay, so image save. Ah, textures. Okay. Aga toka less. That I might be very happy with that part. Okay. And the lip there too. They was like, ah, looks crap, looks like crap, looks like crap. Now looking at here, it's like that's not actually too bad. Just like a wee bit weird to me that it's like shiny down there, but this is like whenever I look at this angle, it's like actually not too bad. Okay.
For tutorial, I will.
Okay, so.
Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps?
I should hear Wonder. It's this one from Names Are Merely Closed, Lord of the Misty Prize. It is a song that perfectly captures. I'm one of actually needing that, so let's just have a run into. I go into this one.
I'll show you how to texture paint emission maps. And for demonstration in this video, I'm going to be texture painting these glowing dots here on these little mushrooms that I've created. And I'm actually going to be posting a tutorial on how to create this exact scene here. So when that tutorial is released, I'll have the link in the description. Now, if you'd like to learn the basics of texture painting in Blender, then definitely check out my texture painting for beginners tutorial. And if you'd like to learn more about texture painting, then you can check out my texture painting tutorial playlist, where I show you more about texture painting, like how to paint roughness maps, how to paint bump maps, and other texture painting tutorials. And if you'd like to help support this channel, I will have links in the description to my Gumroad store and my Patreon and the YouTube memberships. And all of your support really does make these videos possible. So the first step to texture painting emission maps is to add a texture that you can paint on. So I have the 3D space right here, and I have my object selected, and then right over here I have the shader editor. So I'm going to press Shift A, let's go here to the search, and I'm going to search for an image texture, and let's just drop it down here. And then I want to click on the new button to create a new image texture. Now I can just rename this, so I'm just going to rename this mushroom emit, and emit is short for emission. So mushroom emit. And then on the width and height here, I want to make this a 4K texture because I do want it to be pretty high quality. So I'm going to click and then drag down and let go. This way I can change both the values at the same time. And I'm going to change this to 4096 pixels by 4096 pixels. And that's the standard resolution for a 4K texture. But you could also just use 1K or 2K or whatever resolution you want. Now on the color here, I want the default color to be black, because this way wherever it's black, there won't be any emission values, but then as we paint lighter values, it will be more emission. And then I can just click on the OK button.
Values learned. Emmett from Final Fantasy, yeah.
So here is our emission map, and I can take the color here, and I'm going to put it into the emission of the principled shader. And so this way, this...
What is that?
Taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin.
Texture is going to affect the emission. Now usually with other texture maps which aren't the base color, you would normally want to set the color space here to non-color if the texture isn't contributing to the base color of the material. However, this emission right here has a yellow dot, so that's telling us that it's using color data for the emission. So for this mushroom emission map, we can leave the color space set to sRGB. So the next thing we need to do is UV unwrap this object onto this texture. So to do this, I'm going to click right over here to the UV editing workspace. And so we have the UV editor right here, and then we have the 3D space right here. And so I've already UV unwrapped this. You can see I've added seams. Those little red lines there are seams. So I've added seams, and then I've UV unwrapped this, and then I've scaled up the UV islands to use as much of the texture as possible. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on UV unwrapping in this video, but if you'd like to learn more about UV unwrapping, unwrapping, then definitely check out my UV unwrapping for beginners tutorial. Link will be in the description. And in my texture painting beginner tutorial, I go into more detail of how you want to UV unwrap your objects so that it's best for texture painting. But just make sure you have a decent UV unwrap, make sure that the islands aren't overlapping, and also make sure that the islands aren't going out of the image. So I can now click right over here to the texture painting workspace, and you can see this is going to take us into texture painting mode of the object. And then right over here we have the image editor, so we can actually paint on the 2D texture if we want to, but it makes much more sense to texture paint on the object instead. So just to make things easy, I'm going to select everything else except the mushroom, and I can press H to hide it, so that way we can just see the mushroom. Now as I paint this, I don't just want to see the black and white texture map, I actually want to see the emission taking effect. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo that. So what I'm going to do is hold down the Z button, and I'm going to go down here to the material preview. And so this way, instead of just previewing what the texture looks like, it's actually going to preview what the material is looking like. And then I am using Blender Eevee. You could totally use Cycles as well, but I'm using Blender Eevee. And so because I have Eevee turned on, I can use this bloom setting right here.
Taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my
Twice as much as it doesn't look shit for it more. Now where's the bloom? Where's the bloom? Definitely. The conclusion is, I think that was automatically included. Yeah, I think they updated it a while ago for to actually automatically include it. But the default global image is more realistic. I'm just gonna go ahead and refer to it anyway.
So I'm going to turn up the bloom a bit and also maybe make it like a blue color. And also to make the world lighting darker, I can click right here and I can just turn the strength down to make the world lights a bit darker. So I can now just start to paint, and you can see it's actually painting a mission. Now it's a little bit hard to see and I do want it to be a bit brighter, so I'm going to click right back over here to the shading workspace, and you can see right here that there is an emission strength. So right now it is set to 1, so it's not actually that bright, but I could turn the emission strength up maybe to like a 4, and now you can see it's much brighter and the bloom effect is more visible. Strength up maybe to like a 4, set to 1, so it's not actually that bright, but I could turn the emission strength up maybe to like a 4.
is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Amon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
Names are merely clues. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed
Blender
your
5.0
name.
is here, and now they changed how the system works, so probably can't still see any emission. Like you can see here, I set the value up, but hey, it doesn't glow. So what you want to do is go up to compositing. Here they have changed a lot, but you want to click on new. And then you have render layers, group output, and viewer. Then what you want to do is press Shift and A to get up this search menu. Search, and then for glare, then you want to put it here, so it's attached. And then here you have streaks, and you want to change this to blue. And then you can tweak the settings if you want. I'm not going to do that. Then you go back into layout, and wait, it doesn't show. Well, just press here, shading, compositor to always or camera, depending on if you want to see it through the camera or always. And this also works in cycles and EV, so it works anyway. If you want to see more tutorials, then like and subscribe, and I will see you. So it works both for camera or depending on. Get back into layout if you want. I'm not.
Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Amon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name, and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are without a name. He steals no gold, no sword, no fate, only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
Going to do that. Then you go back into layout, and wait, it doesn't show. Well, just press here, shading, compositor to always or camera, depending on if you want to see it.
Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I
Through
change
the
I miss
then
him.
you want to put it in. What you want to do is press Shift and A to get up this search menu. Search, and then for glare, then you want to put it here, so it's attached. And then here you have streaks, and you want to change this to blue. And then you can tweak the settings if you want. I'm not going to do that. Then you go
And
back into
it makes
layout, and wait, it doesn't show. Well, just press here, shading, compositor to always or camera, depending on if you want to see it through the camera or always. And this also works in cycles and DV, so it works anyway. If you want to see more tutorials, then like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I don't want to paint the fucking texture on it. I just want to like to add an effect to it. So, is that Columbo? Okay, Columbo.
whoever you fear I am.
Yeah, I don't think I can follow this one.
And now you can see it's much brighter and the bloom effect is more visible. So I'm now going to go right back over here to the texture painting workspace. And I can press the F key to make my brush bigger. And then I can just go along here and I can just tap and I can just add little dots there. And then if I click right up here, I can change the color, or right over here on the active tool and workspace settings, right down here I can change the color, and I'm going to make this like a very bright blue color, and I can just continue to go along the mushroom here and kind of tap to add some little dots there. And for the texture painting, I am using my Wacom pad tablet, and I would definitely recommend using a drawing tablet if you're able to, because drawing tablets are so useful for many reasons. For one thing, you can make nice smooth strokes, and your posture can be better when you're texture painting, and also you can use the pen pressure, because most drawing tablets do come with pen pressure. And if you're interested in purchasing a tablet, I will have some Amazon links in the video description to some tablets that I recommend, and those are affiliate links, so if you purchase something through those links, that will help me out, but with no extra cost to you. So I'm just going to continue to go along here and paint in some dots. I could also press the F key to make my brush a bit smaller, and just go along here and paint in some little glowing dots there. Now once you're done with the texture painting, it's very important to save the final image, because if you don't save the image and close Blender, Blender won't keep the image data. So you can just open back up the image editor, and then you can click on image and click on save as. And I'm just going to save this as mushroomemit.png, and I will just save this as an image on my computer. Alright, so I can now just go right back over here to the layout, and I can press Alt-H, that will unhide all the other objects, and I can hold down the Z button and go up into the rendered view. And there we go, so we now have some cool little stylized mushrooms with some little glowing dots there. And if you're using Cycles Render and you want to add a glare effect, the best way to do that is to use the glare node in Blender's compositor after you render the image. So there we have it, that is how you texture paint emission maps in Blender. So I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for watching. And again, definitely check out my texture painting for beginners tutorial to learn all about the basics of texture painting in Blender. And I'm also working on a full tutorial on how to create these glowing mushrooms, so when that tutorial is released,
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. your name? Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him
Something like that.
none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name, and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death.
Okay, so what can I do with this?
Fear I am.
If I was to go to compose then
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name, and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay.
wait, why is Freeman Fierce Roughness not being used? It is.
Let's see who you are. Without
Isn't it?
he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth.
Yeah, it is. What do you mean it's not being? What the fuck?
Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie.
Oh, is it? Is it because it's not its own name? Is that it? Oh yes, because I made one separate, which is its own thing here. Yeah. So I can go ahead and delete that.
I am whoever you fear I am.
happen would happen. Yeah, part it here. Okay.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious
Okay, so
borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear.
so what I've did there, I'm just making this as a fucking okay. So
Behind one face, every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will.
I'm just
Taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name, and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
it's not getting the effect that I want. It's like it's way too strong actually.
names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will.
I'm just
Taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name, and it undoes you. Tell me, dear
That's not what I would have wanted, but it's a nice experiment.
Steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game?
Didn't actually want it to be a color. I just wanted it to be like, well, like a bloom effect, and not actually mess with the actual texture itself.
Yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace. 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name, and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Amon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown. Yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace. 1,000 selves behind one face.
No, it's not.
Whoever you fear, I am.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks
I'm not getting the bloom effect. I want the bloom effect, god damn it.
1,000 selves behind one face.
I've been up the whole time. God damn it.
Mirror shows him
I mean, basically, right, okay, so basically, did something like that. Like, I wanted to make that bloom, so like here, so you can kind of see it. Through shading.
I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name, and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals
There's it normally.
gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to God's
It's not amazing, like, so I kind of don't want it to be that high, so
is your final lie.
just even that would be nice, just to have one.
With truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little
But it says I want it to have
blink, a grin, a borrowed breath.
like the bloom effect.
Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am who you fear.
Fuck. Does that really take me like 40 minutes or so? Oh my god, that was just locking the 40 minutes you see after nothing because of the video again.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within.
No! Hold on.
He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face.
Where did it go?
Shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name.
Where the fuck did it go? Oh my god. Right, so it's do it again, all over again. Do it all over again. Yeah. What the hell happened though?
Knowledge is infection, identity is decay.
did it once. I kind of what I want to do again anyway. So.
The game. Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are without a name. He steals no gold, no sword, no fate, only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Amon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours? A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name and it undoes.
Why have I deleted it? I don't know what the
theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am. your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
Don't like it, looks too blurred.
I only borrowed this body. Names are merely clothes. Have you perhaps lost yours?
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown, yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there, smiling within. He drinks your fear with vintage grace, 1,000 selves behind one face. Every mirror shows him still, yet none can bind the trickster's will. I'm just taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin. You speak my name and it undoes you. Tell me, dear vessel, which part is you? Knowledge is infection, identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Ammon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I
Don't like it at all.
Taking a walk in the fog. Call me no saint, no devil's kin. I change my coat, I change your sin.
The Flare Tail will stop working on it.
Knowledge is infection. Identity is decay. So come uncloak, let's see who you are. Without a name, he steals no gold, no sword, no fate. Only the truth that desecrate. Kneel if you must to gods on high, but Amon's touch is your final lie. Cloaked in charm with truth to sell, he buys your soul with a little spell. A blink, a grin, a borrowed breath. Call me Amon, your name is death. I am whoever you fear I am.
Can I do rather?
You perhaps lost yours.
A man in a coat with a monocled eye steps through time like a curious sigh. Borrowed your breath, borrowed your name. Is it theft or is it the game? Call me no god, I wear no crown. Yet kingdoms fall when I blink and frown. Behind your thoughts, beneath your skin, I was always there.
Why am I in Freedom 203? I know. There's what it looks like at the moment. Getting there. French don't have the shadows. I just always looks wrong. I need to watch goddamn tutorials. Not, or maybe just watch somebody do the texture. Not a tutorial. Yeah, I got that up here. Can't know it. Does it look good or does it not look good? You can kinda see it and kinda not see it. I don't know. I don't know. But it's better than nothing. I say that much. Definitely, it's something. I'm doing something. Oh, I'll see you next time.